Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Regrowth. Now here I am in front of this metallurgic infuser, and what I like to demonstrate is how I have hooked it up to the ME system using this ME interface. And what I've done is I've created a pattern using using this encoded pattern. And what I've done is made a custom processing pattern. Phew. Okay. And so the way you can do that is if you identify a formula with your something that doesn't fit the normal shaped crafting layout, what you can do is you can explicitly identify the output of the formula by creating one of the item and then placing it into the crafting terminal, into this pattern terminal, once you've set it to the processing pattern mode. And so with that, you can basically set up formulas for your ME system that don't follow the standard pattern. And so what I've done is I've hooked this up in a way that when I produce items, in this case the alloy, if I were to craft up a batch, what we see is that the interface is delivering items into the chest where they're being absorbed using logistical transporters. And these are a Mekanism-based piping system that can draw items out of any inventory and move them to any inventory. And in this case, I have this metallurgic infuser configured in such a way that the side configs are basically dumping into the input items on the left are items that are going to be infused. Purple is this block right here on the left, which are the infusion material, and combined they're going to dump out into this output buffer, which then gets sucked back into the ME system using this import bus. And so I can now basically set this up as batch processing with the ME system and just check on it when it's done. So I have this hooked up into dense cables, and so I'm slowly upgrading the system as more material becomes available. And the dense cable formula is a little more complicated. So I need these covered cables with redstone and glowstone. Each covered cable is a piece of wool plus a glass cable, and the glass cable requires a lot of Fluix crystals. So I'm kind of stuck right now at this middle step. I don't have enough wool in my system, but I did make a formula that will auto-convert the cotton blocks in a way that they'll make cotton blocks for me. But one of the other limitations in my system is power production. So in between episodes, I came down here and upgraded the boiler. So I now have a 3x3x4 size boiler, and I'm almost at the point where I'm at full optimal output of the temperature. And so with 3x3x4, that's 36 times 10 millibuckets per seam, so 360 production per tick. Now, the old Buildcraft pipes can't handle that output, but the mechanical pipes from Mekanism can. So each one of these pipes can handle 400 millibuckets per tick, which is the entire capacity of the boiler. So I only need one line of these pipes hooked up to a number of steam engines, and that will be my power production now for the foreseeable future. So now I am able to craft up some things in the chest. I've been making a number of golden chipsets and kind of prepping for more chip production, but I'm not quite at the point where I can produce enough power to run the whole thing automatically. So If I load these in, I should already have, yep, logic circuits and silicon here. Do I have enough silicon? Nope, I used it all up. Alright, so let's grab that, throw more in here, and that'll auto push and create the chips. So let me dump those back into the ME system for later. So that kind of covers the things I was working on. Unfortunately, my son's been sick, and so I had to take a little bit of time off of Minecraft, and basically he's been getting fevers the last couple of days, which is kind of unfortunate. I think he picked something up from school, but that happens when you're in kindergarten, I guess. Um, so the next thing I want to work on is this lean, mean, green machine. And to do this, there's two things I want to do. I want to make a biogenerator and biofuel. So this is going to be an alternative production system. So if I go and look up biofuel, this is Mekanism's answer to composting. So essentially what I need to do is find some kind of vegetative material and throw it into the crusher. And what I was thinking was carrots, since I don't really have a lot of uses for those. And I have a fair amount. So let's grab a stack of carrots and head over and throw them in the crushing factory. So now if I were to normally throw in a batch of items, it would burn down one at a time. And so there's a button over here called Auto Sort, and when I click that and turn it on, the factory is going to automatically distribute it, whatever item I put, equally among all of its channels. And so I'm now running three 1/3 stacks at a time in parallel, and that's going to dump out here into the chest and just collect it. Eventually I'll hook that chest back to the ME system, but for now, this will suffice. So let's figure out how to make the biogenerator next. And so here, let's biogen. What am I missing? I'm missing a lot of things, actually. So I'm missing some reinforced alloys. I'm missing some advanced control circuits. And I think the circuits I should be able to make. Yes, so let's make a formula for those. Advanced control circuits. And done. And let's head back over here. Now I'm starting to run out of room in my ME interface system, as you can see. These two are almost entirely at capacity. So let's take a look at what I need to do to make another interface. Alright, I can crank one of those out. And let's grab a little bit more Fluix cable as well. And eventually I'll have all this hooked up proper. For now it's a little scraggly, but it does what it needs to do. So let's take a look at the advanced circuit. Let's make a couple of these. It says I need another formula for a basic control circuit. Great. I'm also going to need some more blank patterns. So let's whip up a couple of those. And what's nice is it'll now completely autocraft all that stuff without me having to futz with it. Biogenerator. And what was the next thing I was missing? I'm missing some of these. Okay, I'm missing an energy doodad. So that's going to require more basic control circuits. Oh, I wish I really don't have a lot of material. Okay, I'm going to need more circuit boards and enriched iron. So, okay, so this is going to need wrought iron and can I use coal? Yeah, I think I can use coal. So, okay, this will be a good demo. So I have a fair number of wrought iron. I have a lot of coal. So let's take a look at what I need to do up here to get another automated formula running. Whoops. Let's try that again. So if I were to add one piece of coal, that gives me 10 pieces of carbon. And the wrought iron then is not firing up. So let's try 2 pieces of coal. Okay, the answer was 3 pieces of coal. Alright, so 3 to 1. We'll bang out 1 piece of enriched iron. So let's head back over here. So how did I do this? Let's go back to the crafting pattern. It's now a processing pattern. So the output will go here on the right column. And so what I need is 1 piece of wrought iron ingot and 3 pieces of coal. And whoops, I also need the blank patterns here. And so let's make a formula for that. And so if I place this in the ME interface and then dump all the raw material back, so if I were to make 10 of these enriched iron, you'll see it's taking 30 coal and dumping it already into this chest where it's being absorbed out into the metallurgic infuser. So like that, it's already running, and it should auto export the items back into the ME system, which are auto completing and filling the work order here in the upper right under the crafting status. So it's made one already, and it'll eventually make the 10 that I need. So pretty cool. So back to the biogenerator. That should be enough for us to make the basic control circuits. Okay, 2 of those. 1 energy tablet, which now means I'm missing 2 reinforced alloys. So these are going to come from diamond, specifically diamond dust or diamond compound. And that looks like the next tier. Okay, diamond dust it's just diamonds in a crusher. Okay, and I have plenty of those. Ta-da! Awesome. Okay, that's a lot of biofuel. So let's grab that stuff and grab one of the diamond dusts. And again, let's grab some enriched alloy, some dust, and then set up what we need in the infuser. So it looks like a 1-to-1 ratio, and that'll make our next tier of the alloy. See if I can catch this here before it. Nope, got sucked in. Okay. So, same deal. We're going to make a formula of the alloy and the dust, and done. Now I can autocraft that simply by ordering up batches in the ME system. Up, diamond dust. Oh yeah, let's throw that back in. Yep, and done. Alright, it looks like all my stuff is done crafting. So let's grab the biogenerator and voila, grab one of those. So the idea is to crush plant matter in the fuel and burn it in a biogenerator. I'm not quite sure what the max output is of the biogenerator. Alright, I think I'm just going to set up the biogenerator here and just do a quick test. I haven't been able to see what values of RF production this can be. I haven't quite figured out the conversion process. In fact, I'm not entirely sure that this can connect to. Oh, that's right, because it needs an emerald kinesis pipe, not just a golden kinesis pipe. So let's grab one of those. Oh, okay. Still not quite connecting to the system. All right, well, let's throw in a batch of biofuel. 280 RF per tick. Wow. That's pretty cool. All right, that's a pretty good power production. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't seem to link up here. I mean, it's filled its production, but not in a way that it's okay. And it only burns the fuel when it has an offtake. All right, so that actually isn't that complicated. Running carrots or anything through the crusher, and 280 per tick is, well, almost the entire power production of my steam engine. So all I have to do is figure out how to hook this up. So if it's not the kinesis pipes, maybe it's the universal cable. So yep, let's try some of this universal cable that I've made before. Actually, I think I got it from Quest Reward. Does this link in any way? No. Okay. What about here on the sides? No. How about, did I completely misconfigure this? Can I rotate it around? Whoop. Okay. Alright, so it can only plug in the back. Alright, good to know. So, and the universal cable, okay, so retained its fuel and retained its power storage. Excellent. Alright, well, I guess I can move this around, and I'll find a better home for this somewhere else in the base. And yeah, I think that's going to work out pretty good. So I just need to find a spot where I can best utilize it. So let's grab, oh, it's going to give me 4 more biogenerators. Oh, awesome. Alright, I'm back, and I did a little bit of reorganization around the base, as you can see here. I moved all of the Mekanism machines up to the top, outfitted them with ME interfaces, and outfitted them with basic factory upgrades. So I now have a 3-part enrichment machine, a crushing machine, and a smelting machine. And I do have to report that I did mess up a little bit in describing the user interface last episode. So what I have here is multiple parallel processing abilities that are based on the type of upgrade that we provide. So the basic one, the basic factory installer, gives us 3 upgrades. Advanced Factory gives us 5, and Elite Factory Installer should give us 7, if I recall. Now, this slot in the bottom left is actually a auxiliary item slot for enriching certain kinds of materials. I believe I read that adding flint to certain materials will triple the output instead of normal ore doubling. But I'm in a position where I can't quite get that to prove out yet. I don't know if that's something that's disabled here in Regrowth. But in any case, I do have the auto sort on for each of these. Now, the interface here in the bottom right, this guy, is specifically for converting the factory type. So if I have an enriching factory here, I can actually drop in a crusher block, and it'll convert this to a crushing factory. So you can toggle between the different factory types here and it will retain the upgrades that you enter. In my case, I haven't entered any upgrades yet, but these basic ones support both speed and energy. So essentially, redstone control down the bottom right, and I'm not really worried about transporter configuration because that's like auto pushing of items. Now, what I have done is I've loaded these up with some various kinds of patterns. I'm now able to produce biofuel automatically, as well as I've laid out the entire path of iron, and I'm trying to work on some formulas for silicon. So with moving everything out of the upstairs plaza, I started moving things down here to make a Inscriber Array. So what I need to do, and what I've done here, is I'm auto-exporting silicon in order to make printed silicon using a export bus from the ME system. Now I need the silicon to pump in to the bottom slot here in the inscriber. So I'm going to have to get a little creative with item ducting. And I think there's a block that I want to try, which is... okay, here it is. It's called the Logistical Sorter. And so this is a Mekanism block that should... let's get some basic control circuits up and running. Let's make 3, I guess. And Logistical Sorter is going to color code items and route them a certain way using the logistical transporter pipes. So I can use that to basically lay out how I want items to move in order to make sure they route to the proper place within the inscribers, because the inscribers are very specific in how they want devices to, or how they want the different parts to enter. So what I'm imagining is back here, I'm going to have an interface that dumps items into this chest. And so what I'd like to do, actually, let's just move it over one more, just so it's a little more centered, I guess. Yep. Let's put this here, and okay, let's not put that there. There we go. Okay, so moving the chest over here. Let's put the logistical sorter on in the front, and okay, so this looks like it's going to be a little complicated. So what I'm imagining is that this spot here will be my first inscriber. So let's let's set it up to be the logic press. So the first thing I want to do is figure out how to create. Okay, so if I load in the items, a golden electron tube and an inscriber, that's going to automatically create the printed logic circuit. So I think what I want to do is take the transporter here. Okay, and let's key this in. Make sure I have my pick. Bip, and right click, new filter. So let's move an item. Let's move the electron tubes. So golden electron tube. Not sure what that does. Min 1, max 1, I guess save. And okay, I can color code them. Great. So let's make this yellow just so we have, yeah, we'll match the color. And what I need next is to grab my configurator object. Okay, here we go. And I want to make sure that this routes to the yellow input over here. So current color none. I want it to output, but I want it to be able to change the color here. So all right, it took me a little while to figure this out, but what I need to do is shift right click in the center of the logistical transporter pipe and not on the edge where it's connecting to an inventory. So here we can see that it's back to a normal state. And I decided after thinking about this that I'm going to reorganize this and kind of change to kind of get rid of all these extra pipes and try to adopt the Mekanism approach towards routing the items. So let's see if I can get this working okay, because what I'm imagining here is, let's just clean up all this stuff. All right, here's essentially what I wanted to do. So what I'd like to do is set up a couple of static inscribers, let's say. So if I were to have the logistical pipes over here, let me just set that up. So if I were to set up, let's just say some standing, okay, all right, that's not what I want. So, yep, so this is still inheriting the yellow channel, so let's make sure that that has the calculation. No. Okay, what I want is the inscriber logic press to route here, and so that way that will engage and make logic processors. So let's hook that up here. All right, so I seem to have a problem restricting this to a single item, and so if it's a single electron tube, then it's recognized by the inscriber and generates a logic circuit. But if I have multiple items, they're all exported as a single stack, and then the inscriber doesn't know what to do with it because it just doesn't handle multiple items. So I'm not sure if I can actually use the logistical transporters to do this. I don't see where I can restrict. Well, maybe can I put a max of 1 here? Is it that simple? No. Okay. min 1, max 1. Ah, now we're exporting one item. Okay, is this smart enough so that way when the logistical, yes, okay, so when this opens up, then it's going to route the next item. Oh, okay. So now I think I'm starting to see how this works. So, okay, so if I shift click here and change the color type, okay, if I were to make this blue to handle, I don't know, the diamond, nope, let's make it handle Certus, because those are used to make the printed circuits. So there should be calculation. Yep, so let's go with blue and calculation presses. And that, yep, so that'll route properly there. So let's move this pipe back one step and get rid of that guy. And I apologize if this is kind of clunky. I'm not sure how to, if it's good to, build as I go and kind of learn here. Not really that experienced with Mekanism routing. I guess I should probably practice in a test world rather than do this live as I'm recording. But I think that if I can just wing this, I think it shows that I could probably expand this, move up, move down. Okay, so is that smart enough to auto route? Will it see a path to blue? Okay, let me put the Certus quartz back in here. Yes, it's going to route through the clear, through the filtered glass, into the inscriber. Awesome. So, yes, so I can duplicate this for all the different router types for the four different materials, which are the silicon, the logic, the calculation, and the engineering presses. And so let me route that up, and then I'll cut right back. Alright, that took long enough, but I think I finally figured out how to work with these pipes. So what I ended up doing was adding a number of items here. I got the base 4 configured with blue, yellow, aqua, and purple, and those are 4 formulas to create silicon. Am I in the right spot? Yep, so silicon, engineering presses, logic presses, and the calculation press. So what that should do is produce the items and have them get sucked out on this side with edges that are set to pull, and then those will dump into this chest and basically set up a push, so I'll make sure the stuff doesn't backfeed into the system out of this chest. And so this is where I'm going to attach the import bus back into the ME system. So the next step is getting the combination of getting the next tier of chips. So what we know is that for each of these, the silicon, printed silicon, has to route into the bottom of the device. So one at a time. This is the this flag actually turns on this filtering. I didn't realize that, and I'm going to change this to a pink because that's what I had linked to the bottom of the this item filter. So if I were to put in a stack of printed silicon, those are going to get tagged with the right color and route into the bottom of this inscriber. And so what I'm going to do next is set up quartz chipsets. Should link with the calculation circuits, and so I want to whitelist quartz to go into the middle column and calculation circuits to go into the dark red on the top. So that should be easy. This guy becomes dark red. I want to export one at a time. Force that on, save. And that'll route. And then likewise, I want to add a new filter for chipsets of one at a time into the regular red channel. And if I did this right, then everything should load up and start to create a circuit. So at this point, I should be able to route everything now to the ME system. Yep, and so there we go with our calculation processor. Now it's just a matter of where do I put the cable. So let's do that across the top here. Okay, route there. I'm going to need a import bus. Do I have that, or can I just let's just steal this guy for now. And hopefully then, yep, grab that, import bus, and then that will link and absorb the items back into the ME system. Wonderful. So with that, all I have to do is make a formula now for a printed silicon, a quartz chipset, and a printed calculation press, and that'll produce one of the calculation processors. Excellent. Let's grab that, and let's grab an interface, which I fortunately have at least one left. And the interface is going to then dump down into the top of the chest. So I'm going to put this here to connect that interface up. And if I load in the pattern, I really should put a terminal downstairs, but let's at least throw these guys into the ME system and say that I want to make 10 of these guys. Start. Let's head downstairs and make sure things are routing correctly. Okay. Well, I can't open the chest anymore. I should probably move that over one. But in any case, yep, these are building and routing and absorbing, and that's then creating space for the next guy to route. So excellent. So that's exactly what I wanted this to do, and so probably in between episodes I'll set up the other two recipes, so that way I can start auto crafting more of the chips. And with that, I am definitely calling this an episode. So if you could, please leave a comment or a like, and I will see you next time in Regrowth. Bye.